I'm Indian, more South Indian to be precise. I speak 4 of the state languages, the regional languages of India. And that explains my cultural and racial identity.
I am an Indian born in Hyderabad in South India, and I speak Telugu, which is one of the major languages in India.
I am from the northeast of India.
Being Indian by nationality, I belong to a rich, diverse culture.
I'm an Indian born and raised in the state of West Bengal.
I describe my race as Indian and South Asian. I was born and brought up in Delhi in India.
No, I don't see myself as part of the minority population.
Yes, I do consider myself as a minority population.
Not really, but if you look at it from a religious context, if you use that angle, then the minority will definitely be from the sense that this religion that I follow is Christianity, which means I'm considered minority because the majority religion is Hinduism, and then you have Islam and Christianity after that. So most definitely, if this is an angle of religion, then yes.
I have experienced negative bias while traveling outside of India. Profiling at airport immigration counters and security checkpoints due to my nationality has happened often. Also, some business owners abroad have made disparaging remarks on my nationality and passed generalized negative comments.
One of the times, a few years ago, when I was working with a multinational, I remember this is the background, I moved departments. So I had to work on a new project altogether with a colleague of mine from the Hong Kong branch office. And it is very important to understand for the context of the conversation that this colleague of mine was though senior to me in position, but wasn't my reporting manager. And this is the background. And coming to the situation or the incidents, as we started working together, I remember being aggressively followed up by my colleagues. So on one occasion, I was asked about a particular work status, to which I said, I am juggling between priorities and I still have a couple of days ahead to finish up the task, to meet the deadline rather. So I said that, okay, I can give it, the day after tomorrow. So instantly he remarked saying that, Indians procrastinate on work tasks. I was quite shocked with that comment, to be honest, and I found it very disrespectful as well.
I personally did not face any negative bias as I had a privileged background. Born in an upper caste, being convent educated, speaking English meant that I belonged to the upper strata of the society. If there was any bias, it was really on my gender. People from the government or very traditional backgrounds felt that even if I was capable and ran a business on my own, needed to talk to a man on all important issues.
When there is questions on my accent when I speak in Hindi, because I do have an accent of the southern languages that carries in so I do get asked, so which city do you belong to, or do you belong to Kerala, which is one of the 4 cities, or do you belong to Tamil Nadu? So yes, there is this bias about regionalism that I've faced and I've experienced.
I think I've been lucky enough not to have such an experience based out of race and ethnic identity. But yes, there have been instances when people do differentiate, the cultural backgrounds of metropolitan and non-metropolitan cities. So definitely I've had such experiences.
I have, and I believe everyone has experienced biased in one way or the other. The most bitter experience which I went through was a negative, unconscious bias arising out of cultural identity. I was outlined as I didn't speak their language, as I am from a different region. What makes me sadder is even when I tried to learn the language, I was never received any support.
There has been a racial discrimination in India to a great extent, but I think all of us as citizens, we are adapted to it and we do not take it as a serious issue.
I think racism exists in society in terms of caste that you're born in. The Dalits in India have been treated badly by many people from the upper caste and continues to do so in some parts of India.
India struggles with a different manifestation of racism, which is discrimination on the basis of the caste system. Casteism has plagued India for over 1,000 years, and despite laws being passed against it, discrimination and subjugation of a large population continues. Caste-based crimes are common and often get little media attention.
The irony is how people have just become a part of this social pressure and they participate in these social protests wherein we have never discussed about the social discrimination that is embedded in our society for years together.
I most certainly think there is a lot of racism that we find ourselves in, especially when it comes to racial discrimination of people from the region on the basis of the religion, the caste, the color, skin tone. I think that's also something that there are biases, and because of that there is racism that exists inside of our country.
The complexion of a person also creates a kind of a bias. People with a fair complexion are considered prettier and sometimes like they belong to the upper caste. Religion also, in terms of bias, plays a role in India.
I think as an individual, it is our own responsibility living in the society that we promote an inclusive culture, treating all the humans equivalent and tolerant towards their caste, culture, identity is the first step that we need to take to make this inclusive society.
I think it's everyone's responsibility to create a more inclusive world for all of us. If each one of us is able to influence our own circle of friends and family, I think we will build a more inclusive society.
First, it is the government's responsibility to ensure an inclusive society by not just forming but also implementing laws to ensure that all citizens are given equal rights and opportunities. Media, both TV and social media, play a critical role as they reach every section of society.
It's everybody's responsibility, mine, yours, and everybody else.
I believe the overall responsibility lies with each one of us. Teachers and parents, the gurus, should plant the inclusive society seed in the new generation at a younger age.
I think the company has a very important role to create that inclusive workspace for all the team members where they feel valued and included without being biased of their caste, culture, region or religion.
People with power, in the other words, the influential people, which includes virtual entities like a company, should take greater responsibility of promoting an inclusive society.
Companies and employers also play a really crucial role in promoting inclusivity in society by providing equal opportunities, as well as educating, informing, and sensitizing its workforce.
In my opinion, I've observed throughout my career experience that all multinationals have made a sincere effort and have incorporated this point across their policies and handbook quite well. So multinationals have already done their bit, but I think going forward, social media, which is a very immensely powerful tool these days, could be used as a campaigning device to promote an inclusive society.
When organizations decide to have those uncomfortable conversations, whether it is through awareness programs or whether it is through just having uncomfortable conversations, because during those uncomfortable conversations you're unwrapping some of those biases that are deep rooted.
Places of work definitely have a very important role to play in influencing and shifting the mindsets of the employees working there. Most of us spend a lot of our time in the workplace, and we tend to have role models, mentors, and we knowingly or unknowingly start imitating them in our daily life. If the people we look up to are able to influence us positively in terms of bringing about a change in our thinking, in our behavior, I think we will all definitely move towards a more inclusive society.